Hello my all dear students. Dear students, very most welcome to all of you in this our online lecture series. Today we are going to discuss the next important concept or in details the next method of transfer of heat, which is convection. As you know, we have discussed in my previous lecture method of flow of heat, or we can say transfer of heat. We have told you in my previous lecture the all method of transfer of heat. In this lecture series, we have told you in my previous lecture the first method of heat transfer is conduction, and next is convection, and third is radiation. So today we are going to discuss the next important method to flow of heat, which is convection. Dear students, convection, firstly here we shall see convection is applicable only in fluid. Convection, or we can say it is applicable only in liquid, or we can say fluid, only in fluid. Dear students, this method of flow of heat is applicable only in fluid or liquid. As we have told you, the conduction method we have told you by considering the any solid rod. So dear students, also the next important concept about of convection is in this method matter moves. First important things in this method is it is applicable only in fluid, and next is in this method matter moves. So dear students, convection are two types. First is natural convection, next is we can say forced or pumped convection, we can say. Now dear students, here we shall see all examples or related examples to all these types we have seen. First is natural convection, and next is forced convection. Firstly here we shall see the convection process, what or we can say how convection process goes on. Firstly here we want to see what is convection. Dear students, as you have seen in your everyday life, if you will take a container and filled this container with water, which is fluid, example of fluid. Dear students, we have seen when we supply heat energy from any source, here we can say burner, then after some time whole water warms. In this method, in this process to warming this water, the convection method is applicable. Dear students, here we want to say how convection method is applicable in this example. Here as we have told you, we have considered a container, and we have chosen here example of fluid, which is water. We have filled this container with water, and we are supplying heat energy from this heat source burner. Then what we shall see after some time whole water warms up. Then dear students, how it will goes on, this process is goes on. So dear students, when we supply heat energy to the lower part of this water which is present in the bottom of this container, then it will warms and it will go rise to the top. Why it will go rise to the top? Because when it warms due to this supplied heat energy, then its density decreases. When its density decreases, then it will go rise to the top due to buoyancy, due to buoyancy, or we can say also buoyancy is a important concept related to we can say gravity. Also it is related to gravity. Then dear students, when this amount of water warms, then it will go to the top, and top cold water go from top to bottom. Hot water will go from bottom to top, and cold water, because the supplying heat energy is to the bottom of this surface. So this water will warms and it will go to the top, and the relative cold water will go to the bottom, and this process continue. And when this process is in continue way, and the supplying heat energy is also in continue, then the whole water warms up. After some time the whole water warms. So dear students, this method, as we have told you, it is applicable only in fluid. First concept we have told you, and next is matter moves. Here both concept we are seeing in this example. Now we shall see the what is forced convection. Forced convection. Dear students, we shall see natural convection, more examples of natural convection. Firstly, here we want to see forced convection. What is forced convection? Dear students, forced convection, as it is clear from this name, in this method matter moves through any machine or through any substance, or we can say matter forced. In this method, matter forced, matter forced to move through any machine or any, we can say, physical means, or any physical means. It is forced convection. Now dear students, example of forced convection. Here we want to see example of forced convection. The very simple and important examples of forced convection is in the human body. In the human body, heart forced force to blood, heart force to blood, so it flows different part of body, Dear students, here my heart forced blood, hence we can say warms blood will move to all parts of human body or my body. It is best examples of forced convection. Now here we want to see the next important type of convection, which is natural convection. Here we shall see all examples related to natural convection. Dear students, in natural convection, as we have told you, the gravity, role of gravity is important. In this phenomena also, or we can say in this method. Dear students, as we can see, it is example, and this phenomena of gravity or role of gravity we have we have seen it in my previous discussion. With example we have seen, we have chosen example was water. So dear students, Now here we want to see next important concept or next important examples related to natural convection. What is natural convection also we have told you, and now we want to see here next important example of natural convection. So dear students, here we are considering it is surface of water in sea, or we can say it is sea water. It is sea water. Now dear students, here also we are assuming it is ground, it is my ground in this shape, it is ground we can say. Now dear students, as we have learnt or we have seen, the specific heat of water, specific heat of water is very large. Specific heat of water is very large. So dear students, when specific heat of water is very large, then in day uh, we have seen, or we are seeing in our everyday life per day, sun rises. When sun rises in day, then it supplies heat energy, and when the sun supplies heat energy to both this sea water and ground, then ground will warms quickly. Why it will warms quickly? It will warms quickly because the specific heat of water is very large. So ground heat are warm quickly compared to this level of sea water. Surface of sea water also we can say here. As we have told you, specific heat of water is very large, and so when heat energy is supplied by the sun to both, then it will warms quickly compared to surface of this sea water, or surface of this sea water. So dear students, when air flows in contact to this surface of water, when air flows, then we have told you here ground heated or warms quickly compared to this sea or water. Compared to this water, ground heated or warms quickly. So dear students, when air goes from this surfaces from this water and this ground, then dear students, here air contact with ground warms, because ground warms compared to the warms quickly compared to the water. So this air will go this air will go in upper direction. Why it will go in upper direction? Because this warm water, hot water is going from firstly this hot water is coming to the contact of this ground. This ground was hot, and it because due to this hot ground, warms contact air contact with this ground, worms are hot, and when it warms, this warm air have low density because its volume expands. When its volume expands, then its density decreases, because we have seen m is equal to rho by v. So dear students, it will go rise when volume increases by supplying heat energy from this ground to this air, then it will go rise, and again it will cool. When it warms, then its density decreases. When its density decreases, then it will go rise from the ground. So it will move from this to this direction. Its cycle is from this to this direction. We can say if any person is present at this point, at this place, then it will see air moves from this direction to this direction in day. So dear students, converse is also true. At night also we can see, at night here also we can see this natural convection, example of this natural convection. At night here we can see it is moon, it is our moon, and it is surface of water, sea water, and it is our ground, it is our ground. So dear students, it will quickly, our ground will quickly cold in at night. It will cold quickly compared to this water, and water is warm compared to this ground. So dear students, when air flows from in contact with this water, then warms up, because water is warms compared to ground. So dear students, when it warms, then it will go from this direction to this direction. Warm water have low density, so it rises, and its cycle, it completes its cycle from this direction to this direction. If any person is present here at this place, then dear students, it will see air moves from this direction to this direction at night. So dear students, next important natural convection is also we can see in the or on the earth surface. On the earth surface we can see this natural convection method. As we know, at equator, at equator, dear students, at equator its radius is we can say less, sorry, its radius is large. So dear students, are also we can understand it in other way. At equator, since we know that if it is our earth, and it will north and it will south, it will north and it will south. Then dear students, as we know, earth, our earth is 3D shape. So at equator, it warms quickly. At equator it warms quickly. At equator it warms quickly. Why it warms quickly? Because we can say from the shape of the earth, it is bulged on the equator. Something bulged shape of the earth on the equator. We can say because it is 3D shape. Our earth is 3D body. So at equator it warms, or we can say air, when air flows, then it hot quickly due to large distance or large radius, we can say also at the equator. So dear students, at equator, when air flows to this to the contact of earth to the equator, then it warms quickly, and towards to their poles, it we can say cold compared to air which is present in contact at the equator. At the equator, in simple language we can say, at the equator it warms quickly compared to air is present, or air flows in contact with pole with poles. Dear students, compared to it warms quickly compared to air flows in contact with poles. Here in simple language we can say air which is flowing in contact with equator warms quickly, and air which is flowing in contact with its poles, it is cold uh, compared to this air which was present in the equator, at the equator, or which was flows in contact with the equator. So dear students, due to rotation of earth is also have rotational motion, and something this air at latitude and returns to the equator, something it affects. Here we can say in simple language, due to, here what we can say, air flows, firstly we can say air flows from equator to poles. How we can say? Because a reason we can write here, because air in contact with equator, air in contact with equator warms quickly compared to air in in contact with, compared to air in contact with uh, its poles. So air will move from equator to pole. And also since we know that earth have rotational motion, so it affects this air, and this is called this air, so it is called, this air, affected air is called trade wind. So dear students, I hope all concept about of natural convection and forced convection has been clear to all of you. If you have any doubt, then you can put up your question by the comment at our online YouTube channel. So today we are going to stop here. Thank you very much.